Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some boy band conversation. As always, my name is Diane.
Oh, I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, a.k.a. Mama Lou.
Okay, we have 2 birthdays coming up, and both on the same day, August 8th. One is from NSYNC, JC Chazé, and one is from 90 Degrees, Drew Lachey, and they will both be 43 years old.
Aww.
So cute.
Great day
JC
for the world.
and Drew, both
So happy
lovely
birthday to
guys.
both.
Love them.
All right. So today is going to be part 2 of our DNA World Tour review. If you didn't listen to our episode last week, for shame. But also, let me tell you what it was about. We reviewed the actual show itself. And we sat at different vantage points and, so we just went through everything that happened in the show and what we thought about it and, where it's good places to sit and whatnot.
Spoiler alert. Great show.
Amazeballs. Today, we're going to be reviewing some of the VIP experiences that are available for the DNA World Tour. We did not attend an after party. So if you're looking for information on that, I would probably go check what happens
on the
on
groups on Facebook.
What happens on the Backstreet,
Yeah,
or maybe
Sarah's usually good at that.
one of the other ones I can't remember the names of now, but we follow them on Twitter. I can't remember their official names, but
So far, I feel like there's been a few after parties. There was they didn't do one in Ottawa. They did Montreal and Toronto, and they've added a whole bunch. So there's a few.
So if you're looking for that, unfortunately, we don't have that for you. If you attended an after party and you would like to send us a review, we would be happy to share it with our tens of fans.
So nice. You think we have 10.
Anyways, what we did attend, though, was sort of a regular VIP. So what you would get if you did the VIP add-on or if you did the DNA Circle. And we attended Howie's private listening event. Oh, we didn't attend Bailey's thing either.
What did Bailey do?
He had a meet and greet also.
as well.
So we don't know anything
We are
about...
not made of money, people.
Yeah.
We have to pick and choose.
We literally, we don't want... If you would like to support this show going to more VIP experiences, please send us money.
Yes,
because...
At boybandbreak@gmail.com.
We will happily accept your money and then we will attend these things on your behalf.
Or if you work for Wonderful Union or whatever and would like to give us some free...
And also, if you have been to a Bailey VIP, then you can share with us what you did as well.
Yes. So we didn't attend Bailey's either, but we attended a Backstreet and a Howie.
That's pretty good.
Lydia, unfortunately, did not attend,
Nope.
but feel free to ask us questions as we're retelling our
That's
story.
what I've been doing. It's all good.
And you can react to what we're telling because
Okay.
it's amusing.
You're very entertaining.
Thank
So
you.
I feel like we'll do regular Backstreet first.
Yeah,
'cause it happened
chronologically.
first. It was chronological.
I'm going to apologize. I stole a pickle from Chinzia's work fridge, so if I have pickle breath, that's why. So just
I
They
don't
can
think
smell
they
it.
can-
No,
it's not a smell-o-vision.
Yeah, are sharing a
I
microphone.
literally did not smell
Oh,
anything.
good. Okay, that's why I'm like, I'm trying not to open my mouth, but I'm like, it's hard to speak without opening your mouth. So there we go. Go ahead.
Thank
Now
you
it's
for this
gonna be
information,
Like, oh my
Lydia.
gosh, Lydia.
Pickle breath.
Ew, cooties. Okay, so originally when the shows went on sale, there was 2 types of VIPs that happened. Love that you're looking at me like I'm insane. So there's the DNA
I'm just
Circle.
trying to. No, I'm just thinking. I'm not looking at you like
Okay.
you're insane. Please carry on.
So there's the DNA Circle, and that costs lots of money. And you're in the
Lots of money. Okay.
and you were in the middle, which we in our previous episode said those are amazing seats. But and that also got you a meet and greet and a picture. Then there was the DNA side seats, which got you, and that also got you access into the backstage and all that jazz.
Great.
So there was a green room. You got free drinks. You got I think some food. I don't know.
Appetizers, I believe.
I'm sure they had
Probably,
the
like,
snacky
stuff.
shit that they had
whatever.
in Vegas.
Yes. So whatever. So they had that. So the DNA sides did not get a meet and greet. They were substantially cheaper. The DNA Circle does have the meet and greet and the picture. So then what they ended up doing in Europe, because they did the European leg first, is that they upsold, like, if the DNA Circle didn't sell out because it was an insane amount of money, you could also buy a VIP upgrade or for the shows that weren't sold out. So there's a few shows that weren't sold out in North America, and they had those as well. So anyways, long story short.
No, but sorry, just
yes.
I think even some of the shows
that were sold out,
they added also.
So like the Toronto show, they added a few. So a few of our friends were able to get the upgrade, but they sold out really quickly. So I happened to be working on the Wednesday, and this came up, and like, good news, everyone, VIP upgrades are available right this moment. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
So
and the Toronto VIP, because it was sold out, the DNA Circle was sold out. I don't know how many they sold.
I feel
it looks
probably
like
not a
though.
lot.
I feel like it holds about 100 people, and I think somebody thinks they sold an additional 20 upgrades.
Okay.
Because, to be honest, they had to do that meet and greet in 2 stages. Like, they had to be like VIP Group 1 and VIP Group 2.
Yes.
Because the lineup was out the friggin' door.
Yeah. So those ones sold out less than 5 minutes, not
Yeah.
even. Like, they literally posted the link and then it was gone. And we're like, okay, well, Toronto sold, like, because not even 5 minutes, because I went to go click on the link.
Legit.
And it was gone. So we're like, okay. And I know DC sold out as well, right away as well.
Instantly.
Damn.
Really
So
DC,
then
no?
we're like, okay, well, maybe, should we do Quebec, not Quebec, Ottawa. Or Toronto, I don't know. The 30 seconds we hesitated, Toronto was sold out. I was like, let's do Ottawa. And then
I was like, I'm buying it now!
And then Sophia, who had been on her phone all day, was like actually working because she works with children. And we're like, what do we do? Do we buy Sophia one?
Died.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. So we're like, do we buy Sophia one? I don't know, whatever. So anyways, we ended up, thankfully, Sophia came back to life. And we're all like, all right,
the
we're
phone
all.
was charged and ready to buy.
So also the thing is that for all the other shows, they had all this backstage experience. For the Ottawa show, all they said was meet and greet, photo, access to GA pit. But they didn't really bless you.
That sounded interesting.
So they didn't explain what that actually was. So like, and you also got merch if you had the other VIPs. Ours
Okay,
did
like
not
what
get
kind of merch?
probably like a T-shirt and something.
I
The
don't know.
Europeans
It
are
just-
just starting to get their merch now.
Yeah,
so
it said a merch package, but I haven't seen a lot of detail. They mail it to you after.
they mail it like a month or two later. So
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway,
Leftover,
so
like, mystery
so the Ottawa one ends up
Never
being
know.
the same price, which we're not saying, as the VIP upgrades, and all it included was this and this GA pit. But we're trying to get information from Wonderful Union, and it's very difficult. And I called like Blues
to
Fest.
give information out.
We couldn't get any information. Blues Fest is like, I don't know, that sounds very dodgy. I don't know what you're talking about. So I directed them to the Backstreet Boys website. They're like, oh no, we haven't heard of this. We're like, amazing, great. So
You're the venue.
we're like, oh, that's great, like a GA pit. Very confusing, whatever. So we were hoping they would add the DNA Circle, but because Ottawa was an outdoor festival, it had like one big stage. And normally at a festival, they don't change the stage according to the artist.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the last one. Like, we
So-
really, truly did not think they were going to edit a stage just for one
So
artist.
we tried to go with the extreme lowest expectations. Then we get there. And then we see this, like, people aren't, like, flat against the stage. And we're like, is that the stage? I don't know. And then as we were walking by, we're like, oh, my God, I think it is the diamond stage. I think.
We were like, is there a hole in the middle of that?
Is there a hole?
And
And
then
then
We went to ask people as well that work there.
And they're
is this
just
the
like,
stage?
what are you talking about? So we're like, amazing. So then we went to go check in. And as we're checking in and getting our wristbands, because they're like, okay, come back. Like, we checked in at 3:30. I think.
Yep.
And they said come back at 5. We're like, okay. So as we're checking in, they're like, yep, and this wristband will get you into the middle pit. And we're like, oh, we do get that. And they're like, yeah, of course you do. We're like, amazing.
You did
So
not
we're
make
like, oh
that
my
clear.
I'm like, this was not clear in any of the emails. Thank you for not like, and even in the map they sent us, it didn't have it
Because
on
they were
there.
like, see, you'll be in the pit. We're like, there's no freaking... Anyways.
Like the map they sent us, first of all, also told us we'd be in a grassy area to meet them, and it was not. It was a road. We were in the middle of a road, and we're like, what is happening? So anyways, all good, whatever. So then at this point,
No, the meet and greet was not in the middle of a road. The meet and greet was like kind of near their trailers. I don't know.
was.
It was
It
weird.
Was there cars driving past?
We had to cross a
We had to
street.
be on a sidewalk, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, please don't stay on this sidewalk. Go enjoy. And we're like, we are going to enjoy this festival.
Oh my God,
First
for
time
once in my
ever.
life.
Because normally, like especially the Quebec one, we wait forever, then you run like a maniac to try to get near near the barricade,
so bad.
and then you're like jammed up against this barricade and have to stand for like 10 hours, and you're like, ugh, I hate my life.
And you're like scared to pee because like,
like,
what if
oh.
you can't get back in?
right? So this time we're like, what? We're in this circle thing and we can wander. So
I can leisurely
we just
pee
leisurely
whenever-
went and
go
had food.
enjoy
They
things
had
at the
free
festival?
alcohol samples. They had they had this bizarre booth in which you could spray deodorant on yourself.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Well, I mean, can they bring that to anime conventions?
Yes, they
Oh,
should.
and that was good deodorant too. Like
It was.
I was sweating like an animal, and I did not stink.
Do you have to like take off your clothes?
No,
No, you just
so we went
raised
into
your
this
arm, right?
booth and we
Okay.
pressed this button and then air flowed at us. Then we got out there like, would you like some deodorant? We're like, sure. And we thought they were going to give it to
I
us.
thought they
They're
were
like,
going to
no.
hand me deodorant.
They're like, okay, stick out your arm. So we were like, okay. And then they went,
Wait, like a man is like spraying you with
Well,
deodorant?
mine was a woman.
it was. I got the woman, but I think that Sophia got the man. I don't know. They
Interesting.
just sprayed a whole bunch
Some
of deodorant.
got in my mouth. It was like
We're like,
because she was like, shh. I was like, oh God.
You nasty.
It was really into it.
also very hot out.
Oh, it was hot as
It
balls.
was ridiculous.
Wow.
So we went and took some pictures of the merch and did not purchase the merch because it was very expensive. We didn't want to carry it around with us. But the
all
prices
posted on our
are on
social
our
medias.
social medias. And we were like one of the first shows, so everyone's like, "Ooh, look at all the merch!" They also
Why
did not
didn't
have
you buy the hoodie at that time?
because it was very hot out, and we didn't want to carry it.
Okay, all right, fair.
So that was why. Ran into an old Serial Joe friend, which was very exciting.
$130
So,
was also-
blah, blah, blah.
blah,
Skipping
blah.
ahead, we are
Crazy.
now at the meet and greet.
Yes.
So we're all hanging out there. Cool. We meet a couple of people in line. Very nice. Like our one friend, like literally got there at the last second. She's like, "Did I make it?" We're like, "Yes. Go get your wristband. Come back." She's like, "Okay," because she was working. So
Those girls were cute. They started
Yes.
crying in the line because this is the first time meeting them.
the one girl behind us, the other one had met them before.
Cute.
But yeah, she was like panicking. It was hilarious. Not hilarious, but it was nice. She was a nice girl and whatever. So
No,
as-
I think we've said it before. It's nice to see people who are like, not that we're not excited, but we're less excited. We're like more just like trying to strategize.
Yeah.
And these
Make sure
people
we
are
get
just
the
like,
picture right.
like,
Oh my
am I
God.
going to get to hug them? And we're like, yes.
how do I ask for a hug? I'm like, don't. Just throw out your arms and then they will hug you. And she's like, what? So yeah, okay, maybe here's some tips for people who have never had a meet and greet before. Breathe. Calm down.
Most important.
They will not let you take your purse, or they will not let you take a camera. They will not let you take anything to autograph. And they have
Nor
done away with props.
Will they let
Put
you
your
take any
phones
props?
away.
And included in the no props, also no signs. So I don't know if you've seen any of our previous pictures, but signs have always been our jam.
I feel like
That's
that's
hashtag
like
Sign Squad.
you know, it's just like they just screwed us over, man.
we're like, the signs are our thing, but we're like, okay. So then we had to get
We're
creative.
unique.
So luckily that morning we figured they would probably take away our signs. So we decided on our 3 poses. Also,
Which before you jump into this,
yes,
We had a plan B.
I was going to say that you only get one picture.
oh yes,
So
can
when
say
you
that.
when you get a VIP, you get one picture. If you're going with your friend, you each have purchased one. You will get 2 pictures. So you either get 2 individual pictures, or you can do 2 group shots. Or let's say you want a single shot and you have your fiance, they'll come in for the second picture. But in total, however many people buy the VIP, that's how many total photos you get. And tell them that too, because some people have gone with 2 people and they're like, "Oh, we're going in together." Like, cool. And they just take the one picture and leave. Not cool, guys.
Get your money's
Get your
worth.
money's worth. Get both of your pictures. Say we are taking 2 pictures, 2 poses. Because there's 2 of
Yeah.
us.
yeah. So some people were asking, like on our Facebook comments, how did you guys get 3 pictures? So each of us bought a VIP. So therefore, we were each entitled to an individual picture with the Backstreet Boys. So what we do is I'm like, I would like Sophia and Chinzia in my picture, and then we get 3 pictures, all 3 of us.
Yes, absolutely.
And I also feel because, like, if it's like a solo event and it's just Nick or just Howie, then an individual picture is cool because it's like just one of you, right?
Yeah.
But there's 5 of them and only one of you. It's kind of more fun to space it out with the other people too. So you don't have like sad Howie by himself or Brian on the end or something
more
like that.
visually appealing too.
Yes, and you can do more fun things in them.
Although in this instance, we kind of ran out of space because
Yes.
8 people in that area was tight.
So yeah, so we're waiting there and we're like right behind the stage to the side and
No, I just circling back
sorry.
to the prop thing just for 1 second.
yes.
I feel that if there's any Backstreet Boys, our wonderful union or their security or anyone listening, we're going to waste more time coming up with weird poses than we would if we had signs. So
Yes.
Legit. A sign we
if
would
you
just hold
think
it up.
signs are going to like take up more time than us being like, all right, now we're going to do this and this and this, you are sorely mistaken. So
You cannot foil our plans, wonderful union.
So
Mike, we love you, but not in this sense.
My suggestion to you is just let us bring the signs, and then it'll be a lot faster.
Just let it be.
Let it be.
But carry on. What were you going to
If it's
say?
like a political sign, then I think no.
Pretty sure we're not a political.
Read the
group
sign.
I know. I know.
That's fine. They can
So it
read
could
our
have been
signs.
I don't think you were the problem. Other people probably were the problem.
Yes, other people
No,
ruined it. for
their
us.
whole thing is that it takes too long.
And we're like, it does not take too long. We're literally carrying it in.
You literally just
Yeah.
have to hold
So
up the sign.
if you do have a message you want to say, you can. Some people have printed them on T-shirts
That's
and things like
brilliant.
that.
Yes.
So obviously they're not going to make you take off
Take
your
off
shirt.
your shirt.
Take your shit off.
No.
And you're allowed to wear like a hat or something like that. You're just not allowed to give the boys anything
Because
to wear.
apparently it takes too long for them to put on.
Which is lies, because we have done it multiple times.
And it takes no time.
literal seconds. Maybe it's because I also just, normally Nick just stands there, we dress him up. We're just like, you just stand, we put the things on, take it off. But maybe other people who have not met them before might talk more, maybe.
I think it's probably like a safety issue too. Like, what if someone like found something like in a dumpster and they're like, "Where this piece of dumpster garbage?"
I can understand that.
Like,
though.
I really don't think you guys. Are the
But
problem.
I don't
it's
think
just
them
a safety
holding
issue.
a piece of cardboard is going to like infect them with disease.
Well, what if it's like asbestos?
Why would we give them asbestos to hold?
I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just putting it out there. Okay, continue.
Okay. Thank you for your very knowledgeable information on this.
trying to be like,
Oh gosh. Okay. So anyway, so we're waiting in line. Oh, there was another point I was going to bring up. So you can take as many pictures as you have people. Just don't like as dumb as this sounds. Always practice what you're going to say to them.
Oh, yeah.
Because especially if it's your first time meeting them, you may be overcome with emotions. Your mind may go blank. You may start panicking. Just be like, and it's stupid to be just like, "Hello, my name is Diane." Just like keep starting like. In case they ask you your name or whatever.
100% can confirm you should do that, because otherwise you'll just be like, "Hi."
And then if you want to, so the way that normal VIP pictures, for the most part, we've noticed, it's Brian, AJ, Nick, Kevin, Howie. And what they'll do is you'll like hug the first three. Once you get to Nick, he will hug and turn you around and keep you there. Then you hug Kevin and Howie and leave.
but this one we didn't do that.
So if you are a newbie to this whole thing, that's generally how it happens. But we have sometimes somebody who's like, "Oh, I'm a big Howie fan," or "I want to be beside Brian." But now I felt like I make Nick feel bad that I'm not with him. Nick, no offense, does not care if you do not want to take a picture with him.
He probably does.
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes he does care.
Okay, but the other boys are also excited to be like, "No, I really want Brian in this picture. Bring Brian over." Or just say, as you're hugging Brian, say, "I would like the picture hugging you." Okay, and then they'll come. Another good ally for this is Kevin, and we'll get into this more, but Kevin is very good. If you say what you want the picture to be, Kevin will help you make it happen.
Kevin is very into this.
Kevin is very good at directing the boys. So, okay, so as we're waiting backstage, we're waiting, the boys, and we're waiting outside this long tent, and we're at a short tent, a long line, and we're waiting, and then I see this guy come by with, like, ridiculous hair, and I see a guy with him, like, and as he's, like, going past, I'm trying to, like, why do I know this guy? I'm like, is that Johnny Wright? So me and Sophia see him, and
we're
Sophia's
like,
like,
yes,
Sophia's
that
like,
is
yes, it's
Johnny
Johnny
Wright.
Wright. And
No, I also
Di-
saw him. I just didn't believe it was him.
the first time he left, then he came back again.
Yeah, even the second time.
So when he comes back again with this guy, and I was like, "Oh my god, I think that's Johnny Wright."
And I said, yes, it is.
And then the guy in front of us, and it's very loud back there. He's like, "Yes, it's him." And we go to Diane, and Diane's like, "It's not him." And the guy in front of us like, It's him." We're like, "Yes, okay." And they had gone, and he's like, "It's Francesco Yates." And we're like,
What?
that was the guy with the
Francesco,
ridiculous
yes,
hair.
Yates was the
That's
artist.
Johnny
So he's a
Wright.
Canadian solo artist, and I guess Johnny Wright's managing him or something. I don't know why he's there with him. So Diane's
young
like,
boy.
So he's like, so this guy in front of us is all like, yes, it's Francesco Yates. And then Diane looks at, because when he's saying yes, we're like, see, Diane. And then when he says it's Francesco Yates, I'm like, I hope she didn't hear that part. And then Diane gives us this look like, This man is agreeing that it's Francesco Yates. He's not saying it's Johnny Wright. And we're like...
And I was like, it's Johnny Wright.
We're like,
to
whatever.
be fair, I would just like to say, Johnny Wright looks very young for his age.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, I don't know if there's been some Botox or what.
Probably.
Oh,
but
he's like in Hollywood, baby.
This man looks so young for his age. I was like, there's no way that's him. That guy looks way too young. But apparently it was him.
So then at this point, Francesco comes out without Johnny. And he's walking by and we're like, hey, can I get a picture? And he just ignored and kept walking. Granted, it was very loud back there, so maybe he didn't hear. And I was like, you know what? Screw you, Francesco. I don't actually want to take a picture with you. So then he walks away. And then I see the Johnny Wright fellow come out again. And I'm like, I swear to God, it's Johnny Wright.
was like, yes.
And Diane's like, it's not him.
And
don't go
meanwhile,
up
I'm
to a
trying
weirdo.
to like Google images of him to see. If
so
it's
at this point, so Johnny goes back out into the crowd. So
This
now I'm
whole
trying to
time, I'm
like
yes, it's Johnny
Google
Wright.
to see if he's doing anything with Francesco Yates. All it confirmed was what Francesco Yates looks like, and yes, that is the man. So I was like, I swear to God, it's him. So then like 2 minutes later, he comes back a fourth time, and this time he's carrying a little tub of popcorn. So I'm like, my kind of dude. And then this girl at the front of the line with her phone comes over and starts chatting with him and says, can I take a picture? And he's like, yeah. And so as he's taking the picture, I'm like, that's proof. That's Johnny Wright. So then I start heading over to Johnny Wright, and Nikki, our friend, is in the front, and she's looking over at me, laughing her head off. She's like, I knew you would go see him, Chinzia. I'm like, that's proof number 2. And as I'm running, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't have our boy band break business card. But I'm like, whatever, I'm shooting my shot here.
No, you can't shoot this out.
So then I get to him.
She did.
I did. So I get to him, and I'm like, hey, Johnny. He's like, hey, like, it's really nice to meet you. Can I take a picture? He's like, of course. But he's holding the popcorn in my good hair side, so now I look bald.
No.
I know. I was very upset, but I was like, whatever. So I go to take a picture. These two are just standing in line, and I'm
about
trying to like
I was about to
mentally tell
come.
them to bring the card, but I'm like, whatever. So then I'm like,
yeah, because that works. Your telepathy's like 100%.
So then I was just like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, hey, Johnny, like, honestly, like, I saw you with like Backstreet and NSYNC and everybody over the years. It's really nice to finally meet you. He's like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, Chinzia. And he shakes my hand. He's like, it's very nice to meet you, Chinzia. I'm like, oh, it's great to meet you. Like, nice seeing you. He's like, yeah, thanks. So then he goes to go leave. So I go to like, because I don't want to be creepy and I don't want other people to start like coming after him. Or if they did, I wanted to move out of the space so they could take a picture with him. Spoiler alert, no one else wanted a picture with Johnny Wright. Just me and this other girl. So as I'm like walking away, I was wearing this like, what is it, like a bolero-y type jacket that had like a lace back with stretchy lace, but I had washed it so many times that now it's starting to fray. So as I'm going to walk away, he stops me. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Chinzia, what's this on your shoulder? And starts like picking at
Wait,
like
Johnny Wright's picking at your shoulder.
he's picking at it. He's like, what's this? I was like, oh, it's just frayed. He's like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, I thought you had something on here. I was like, no, that's fine. So now I'm like extremely embarrassed that Johnny Wright has seen this like crappy looking like sweater. And I'm like, and then I come back all embarrassed. And then as I'm coming back, they're like, you didn't bring the break card. And then, but also while I was talking to Johnny, I also remembered that we've made some questionable comments about him.
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits.
I was just
So-
gonna, it's not like we just said there's a possibility. We
So-
don't know about him. You know what I
So-
mean?
It's sketchy, but you don't know.
So then we're just like, okay, maybe it's good that we didn't give him the podcast card.
Probably.
So we're like, okay, so Lydia is being really creepy and walking out of the room. So sorry about that background noise and lack of Lydia for the next few minutes. Okay, so so then now we're in line and we're getting ready to go into the meet and greet. Does anybody else want to talk?
Jump in.
Oh, and then, sorry, I just remembered who else was there. Josh is back.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like
so excited.
CJ was there, but we didn't see him at that time.
Yeah. So Josh is my second favorite bodyguard. Well, obviously Q is my first favorite. Obviously, rest in peace. But Mike is my favorite bodyguard, and Josh is my second favorite bodyguard. And Josh
CJ was
left
very
us.
excited to see Josh.
I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, Josh is back. Because also, not only did he like shun us by leaving the Backstreet Boys, he went to the enemy. That's
Is
right,
he
people.
really an enemy?
Justin Timberlake, the worst possible person that Josh could have gone to. So then, as we're like getting close to Josh, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And he's like trying to like do his job.
doesn't even care
He
that
doesn't
you're
care.
there.
And I was like so friggin' excited. I'm like, guys, this is like the best meet and greet ever. I've just saw Johnny Wright and Josh is back, and they're like, the Backstreet Boys are right here. I was like, listen, whatever. These
The
are
whole
added
point of
perks.
this experience.
So anyway, so I get to Josh, and I was like, oh, welcome back from the dark side. And he's like, what? And I was like, you know what I'm talking about. He's like, I wouldn't really say it was the dark side. It was pretty light over there. I was like, was it there? Was it? But obviously you came back because this is the better side. And he's like,
and he like made some implication about how this was not the better side. But
and then I was just like, Justin broke up in sync. So just so you know, in case you were unaware, he's like, I was aware. And I was like, okay, just so you know. And he's like, okay, thanks. I was like, welcome back. And then I asked for a picture. He's like, what? Oh, okay. So I could take a picture with Josh. And then at this point, the girls like put down our purses and stuff. And then we're like, so we're cool to bring the signs? And he's like, what? No.
I asked him way before that.
Yeah. So he was like, no.
I was like, hey, Josh, signs? He's like, no.
And we're like, Justin
still your
said,
favorite
we
even
talked
after the
to,
signs?
I know. But Mike kiboshed us in Vegas. So
Justin, we
Justin
love
came
you,
by.
Justin, but you don't know shit. Like,
we're like, hey, buddy, can we have signs? He's like, well, you're not allowed props, but I think signs should be fine.
I think it's fine.
So we're like,
So
okay.
basically he does
So
not
then we're
know
like,
anything.
so we go to Josh. We're like, Justin said it was cool. He's like, no, it's not. So we're like, fucking Justin.
Justin has no authority.
Literally, he's just a photographer.
Yes. Damn it, Justin. But we love you anyways. So now at this point, we have finally made it to the front. Oh,
Although
sorry.
in the line, we're like practicing the poses because we're
So
still like,
we
oh,
weren't,
which one's going
but Diane
first,
didn't want
second?
anyone to know what poses we were doing, so we were like quietly practicing the
It's
poses.
not that I didn't want them to know, but we were at the back of the line. Like, what if someone tried to steal one of ours?
Yeah, I don't think anybody was going to try
Well,
to do
You
that.
can't really you couldn't really tell like what we were doing.
So in the morning we decided that we were going to do a DNA pose.
Now, I
The
would
album
like,
is called DNA.
did we decide that?
Diane decided that we were going to do
but we
a
agreed
DNA
with you,
pose.
so we all
I
decided.
would just like for the record to show that when I suggested it at first, these two were like, "Are you dumb? That's never gonna work."
I believe-
because we couldn't figure out how to do
Yes,
the D.
but then once we practiced, we were like, okay, we're totally gonna
I
do
would
this.
just like to state for the record that at first they thought I was stupid. In the end, were they kind of right?
Yes.
Yes. But in between them thinking I was stupid and the end result, they were like, "That was genius."
Yes. So here's the thing is that these meet and greets go by so fast and you need to like get in as possible. So I find that I kind of take on the director / dictator role.
Yep.
And
You are
show
very much
things. So I
dictatorship.
like to let them know ahead of time, hey, this is what's
Yes.
coming up, blah, 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 and let's do this. So I kind
It's
of
literally Chinzia and Kevin just screaming at everyone, and the
literally,
rest of
yes.
us being like, "What the hell is going on?
What did we do? Where did we go?
because I'm cognitive of timing, and I know that they're going to kick us out. So, so we did the hugs first, and we all did all the hugs first.
Yes, we all do. We didn't
I'm
care
just like,
about the
I don't
middle.
care.
Yeah, that
We're
was
going all
awkward.
5. Yeah.
Keep your back to Justin, and you're good. Anyway, so we did all the hugs, and then we got. So I'm like, so Mike. Josh told Mike 3 poses. Mike told Justin 3 poses. I told everyone 3 poses, 3 pictures, 3 different ones we're doing. So we did our hugs. So I'm like, okay. So then Diane gets to the first one, and it is the DNA pose we decided to do first.
Yes.
So Diane, would you like to say what you said to them?
Oh, so I said, I believe just to Howie, I think, because you guys were busy with the rest of them. I said, okay, listen, I'm like, they won't let us bring in signs, so we have to spell things out with our bodies. And he's like, okay. So I'm like, so we're going to make DNA. So I'm like, just stand there. And then so Howie's reaction to just stand there is to put his arms out like he's an airplane about to take flight. And I'm like, no, put your arms down. So then he puts them down like halfway, but still not all the way. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I literally pushed his hands down to his side, at which point Kevin's like friggin' backing into me and pushing me. And I
You'll
can
know
hear
why.
Sophia being like, move. And I'm like,
There's literally no room.
okay. So I then push Howie like further out. And I'm like, we gotta move over. And then he's like, okay. And then I was like, and then I curve my body to make the curved part of a D. So like you can imagine he's the stick and now I'm the curved part. So we do that. We take a picture. Okay.
So Sophia, tell us
So
your
then
part.
I'm with Kevin and Nick. So I say to Kevin and Nick, we're spelling out DNA. We are the N. So Kevin goes, we are the A. I'm like, no, we are the N. So then after that, Kevin is like so into that. He's serious about being this N. So
He is the most serious person in
he's
this
so
picture.
serious. So I do the pose, and I'm hoping for the best with Nick, because who knows what's going on there.
So you didn't actually tell Nick what to do then.
I literally said to him, "We are doing an N."
Okay.
I don't
So,
know.
and
Were
I
you
feel like-
facing him when you said
Yes, I looked at both of them and I said, "We are spelling out
So-
DNA."
it? Bestie needs a lot of very specific
So,
instructions.
Well,
Kevin
you
and-
literally
Kevin
told
and
Howie
Nick-
to put his
Yeah, I
arms
know.
down, and
Yes.
he didn't do it.
So
get there,
Kevin
yes.
and Nick are the two sticks of the N, and Sophia is the diagonal line.
yes.
So
So
but
then-
there was also not a lot of space.
So
for
that's
this.
why I was like saying, "Can you move over?" And then that's why Kevin was pushing Diane over.
So apparently
Our
Nick
butts are
did not
touching.
have the
Yes,
memo of
that
what
is
he was supposed
correct.
to be doing.
Yes. So I turned to him a little bit and I see his like face touching my arm, and I was like, "Wow, he's very serious about this." So then we take the picture, and then
Wait, let's get to what the picture looks like after.
So
Okay, sorry.
so then for me, I now have AJ and Brian. So I go, AJ, we're an A, and he's like, okay, got it. Then I turn around to Brian and I go, Brian, you're a molecule, and he's like, what? I was like, you're a DNA molecule. What? And I'm like, so I grab Brian's arms, I cross them, and I put them above his head, and he's facing me with his hands up over his head, looking at me like I'm insane.
His face
I was
looks
like,
amazing.
perfect. I'm like, okay, now you stand over. So then I like push him over to the side and flip him around so he's facing the camera, and then.
Like, just to note, you guys have known him for a long time. Normal fans cannot manipulate.
I'm
the
pretty
Backstreet Boys.
sure if they were using and abusing and pushing them around like we were, they'd be like, "What the hell's wrong with these people?"
I'm sure Mike
Security, please.
Mike might have stepped in at that point. If it was whatever. But anyway, so now I've twisted Brian. I forgot to tell him to cross his ankles, which bothers me to this day, but whatever, we're good. So then I flip back over to AJ to see how he's doing, and he is very happily made himself into an A. Super proud, looking forward. I'm like,
Way to
buddy,
go, AJ.
we're an A. We're an A together. He's like, oh, together. And then so then I like kind of like high five him with the one thing and put my arm, and then he sees I have my other arm out, so he like kind of touches my hand. I messed up because I was supposed to have the back arm up, but the front arm, whatever.
Big
Deal. Was good.
It's
so
all a hot mess.
We're like, okay, everybody's good. They're like, yep. So we take the picture. Did you want to discuss?
Okay, so then after that picture is done, he turns to Kevin turns to Nick all serious and was like, motioned with his finger, "We were an N."
Yes, at which point Howie says to me, "What letter was that?" And I say to Howie, "It was a D." And he's like, "Oh, DNA, I get it. Very creative." I'm like, "Okay, Howie, I don't know what else I
These
could
boys are
have."
very slow.
The best part is when we see the picture, Howie did not listen to Diane at all.
I don't understand how many more times I could have said, "Just stand there and put your arms down." I placed his arms at his side.
He like
Somehow,
flipped his hands.
he's flipped his hands up in front of his body like he's swimming or something.
So it's almost like a BNA, if you will.
Like, what is he doing, Lydia? Look at that picture. What is he doing?
Oh, that isn't.
I don't understand.
Oh, maybe he thought you were making the D with the upper half of your body, but then why would you have legs?
But then why would we have legs?
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, I don't really.
And then Nick's like all happy and like
Nick is
pointing.
just
Nick
happy
and
pointing.
it's like, what is
Has
happening?
no idea what's going on.
Okay,
he's
so-
just like, "Hey, I'm in the picture. Woohoo!"
So Sophia, next time you need to specifically tell Nick what to do because he doesn't pay attention.
Yes, but that did not go well, as you can see with
And
Howie.
next time,
Okay.
don't put me in charge of Howie because apparently,
No, that was fine.
okay.
I would like to say that my two were fine, but let's
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I need more ones who are more like
on the ball.
Literally, maybe you need to be with Kevin. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So at
probably.
this point, picture is now taken, moving on. So now our second picture is, I'm like, so I come out and I'm like, as director, and I go, okay, guys, you're running away from us. We're chasing you.
The original
Look
plan
scared.
was that we, in our heads, we were all going to be on one side of the picture, like chasing them, and they were all going to be on the other side of the picture,
Which
running
is
away
why
from
we
us.
should have done that picture first.
I agree.
But they were like, Diane's like DNA first. We're like, okay.
I don't know.
So anyway, so at this
We
point,
just agreed with Diane.
so it's very quick and they want you to move and get into the
I
next
thought
picture.
DNA would be harder to set up.
Accomplish. Yeah,
That's
I
why.
understand the reasoning there. So anyway, so now I'm at the end. So we're like, okay, you guys are running. You're scared. We're chasing after you. So Kevin is also yelling, hey, everyone, blah, blah, blah.
We're running away. Look scared. He's like
So then
screaming at all
Diane's
the boys.
like, are we going to the
Are we
back?
going this way? Where are we looking?
Yeah,
And then
because
Chinzia is like, look the other way.
this one didn't move. She wasn't getting out of the picture. And you were just like already on the ground. And I'm like, should I go to the other side of the picture? And then nobody responds. And then Kevin's like, get back in the picture. I'm like,
So Kevin,
okay.
so So Diane needed to be wrangled by Kevin. So at this point, so I'm like, run away. So Brian's still moleculing. I'm like, listen, you need to run from us. And he's like, oh, okay. So I kind of like push him towards AJ. And then at this point, originally my plan was to lie on the ground, but then I thought I wouldn't be able to get back up. So Diane's like,
That's even better.
bend on one knee. And I was like, genius. So I bend down and decide I'm going to grab Brian's leg. But originally in my plan, I was grabbing his ankle because I was on the ground. When you're on a knee, you are grabbing a little higher up on the leg. So I just kind of, and I also slightly fell as I was going down on one knee. So then I went to go grab Brian's legs. His legs were spread, grabbed them around the upper leg, and at the point also headbutted him with my ass. No,
Not with your ass.
headbutted his ass with my head because I was just like, oh my God, my head is in Brian's ass. So then I like moved it out. So in the picture, it's in front of his ass. But the whole time I'm taking the picture, I was like, please don't fart on me. Were the thoughts I was having. Do you have
And
anything
so
to...
Brian-
And I would like to say there was still no room in this picture, so it was hard to run. So you can tell that I'm not running really. I'm mostly like
So she's
sitting-
leaning back, but
I'm leaning,
because
like,
Sophia's
sitting position
in the middle
Yes.
of this picture, it's kind of a backlog. So it
Yes.
kind of looks like Nick is getting very friendly with Sophia
Yes.
in the behind.
Yes, that does. Yes.
Yes, because
But it worked out.
Because Brian's fear is like 50% real because Chinzia's grabbing him and sticking her head up his ass. So he's really close to AJ, and then AJ is by default really close to Nick, and then Nick is by default really close to Sophia because Kevin's like, I'm committed to this running.
Yeah, he's so into these pictures.
And there's also like a random woman walking behind the tent near Howie, which is really funny as well.
So Kevin and Howie and I look great, and everyone else looks insane.
And
Which works in the picture.
which is
so it's
by
great.
far my favorite VIP picture we have taken.
Oh my God, it's so
Yes.
funny.
It's
So
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And then after that, we get up and we're like, okay, last picture. And then Kevin said switch, or did I say switch?
I was yelling switch to everyone.
I already was going to switch anyways.
I was like, we need to switch positions. Get away from Nick.
Like,
So then they're all probably like,
I was like,
what's the
huggy
third one
picture.
gonna
This
be?
is the hug picture. Switch. And Kevin's like, switch sides. And then we're like, okay. So then I'm like, I got Howie. And I ran over to Howie because I
then
was
I-
like with Brian and AJ, the other ones.
So then I went to AJ and Brian and I was like, we're going to do a huggy pick, whatever. And then AJ was doing a pose. And then at the last second, Brian started touching his finger. And I'm guessing that's a heart. So I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what's happening there either. It's a molecule.
And then I thought, I should lean more towards Howie. So as I'm doing this, I'm now leaning my head, and then now I'm at a really awkward angle.
Yes.
So my head is like awkwardly there, and as I have my arm around Kevin, and I realize, oh, now this is going to look really weird, and then it just really
It looks a little weird, yeah.
It does look weird. So I should have just kept my head straight.
Yes.
Nick and I in the middle look very cute.
Yes. Very cute.
Adorbs.
Yes.
All right.
So all in all, it was a fun experience.
And then I forgot to give out the cards because I was going to give out the cards to them.
God. How
And
do
then-
you forget again?
Because at this point, I'm now at Howie.
Now she's at the end
Now
of
I'm
the
at
line.
Howie,
yes.
and they're kind of kicking us out because,
Yeah. She
as
has
you
no
can
time.
tell,
your dress had pockets.
No,
and
she
they
had
were
them in the
the
pocket.
pocket.
She had them in the pocket ready to
I
go.
just didn't have time to give it to them because I didn't
All right.
plan to be at Howie at that point. So then
It was, and plus they're like, okay, and they're like bringing the next people
like,
in,
The next
and
people are already coming in and stuff.
They're like,
'cause-
that's great pictures, guys.
So as you can see, if we would have had signs, it would have been much faster.
that would have been 1,000. It would have been so fast.
Please don't ban fun poses because of us. So
We're
I
not going
know,
to stop.
please.
I will just say that.
No, we will not.
Oh, that's in sync. Never mind. I'm not going to sing that song.
Don't sing in sync. That's bad.
Nope. I was
not
yes.
part of
Okay.
us.
So that was all our VIP experiences for
Yes,
Ottawa,
and then
right?
if you want to hear about all the pit stuff, that is in our previous episode. Amazing. If you can do a DNA circle, it's amazing.
Do it.
Do it.
And Backstreet Boys, I don't know, like I know it's too late for this round, but like maybe in the future just consider selling it separately. Like I know people complained and were like, oh, I want a ticket with my VIP package, but like honest to God,
And some people just want the VIP
some people
upgrade because
just
they
want
a
the
chair,
VIP
right?
and some people just want the pit. I just want the pit.
yes.
Yes.
Anyways.
And please don't make it like so much money.
Correct.
Okay. Anyway, so then in Toronto, we attended Howie's listening party.
Which one am I
Yay.
listening party?
which was Cool.
It was very cool.
It was very intimate.
So that was how it worked, at least in our section of this tour, is that Howie did his VIP first, then Bailey did his VIP, and then the Backstreet Boys did their VIP with the 5 of them. So there was like some space in between. Yes. They took us to the basement of the Scotiabank Arena, is what it's called.
It was in the basement.
The lower level. The floor,
it was like
I
the
guess.
Fancy area where like all the players
Platinum
go.
Club or what is it?
Yeah.
That's where they took us when we did the New Kids one. But yes, so they had it. So best part about this is that as we were going there, for Howie's event, that was the lounge area that people were getting to go to for the BSB event.
So we know.
So we got to see those big signs and stuff that they had and snuck in some
And we had
pictures.
to take some pictures.
It wasn't a rape basement. It was actually like professional basement.
it was very
it's
fancy.
It's a fancy bar,
was like a
restaurant basement. So we were there. So we kind of, and there was like some little tables, and they're like, okay, Howie's going to be sitting at this chair. So we all just kind of like turned around. Big thanks to, was it Melissa? And Howie D's World.
Yeah.
Because we hesitated on buying the Howie VIPs. And then we're like, oh, shoot, the thing's tomorrow. We got to go buy these VIPs. Went to go to the website, howied.net is where you buy them. And it was the buy it now button was grayed out. So it didn't say sold out, but it was grayed out and we couldn't click on it. And we're like, oh my God, like, are we able to buy this on site or not? So we didn't want to take our chances the day of buying them. So we're like, hey, so we tweeted out to Howie and Howie D's World. And then Melissa and Kat were from Wonderful Union was Kat, and she was able to open it up again for us. So then we were able to buy our
Shout out to Melissa and
So-
Kat.
Good job, ladies. Thank you for
you
your
so
help.
much.
So it was awesome. So we didn't get any special lanyard or anything.
No,
We didn't
did they
get a
even give us a
wristband.
wristband? Nothing.
Oh, we didn't got nothing.
They were just like, "You're here for Howie. Please come in."
Yeah. So then, so they took us down to the basement. We did this thing. He came in, obviously greeted us. He was saying how like it was a little bit weird for him because the ones he did in Europe were like a listening party before the album came out.
Yeah.
But his album had come out 3 or 4 days before on the 12th, on July 12th. So we had actually already listened to it, but some people hadn't. And then so he did a couple of songs. We did a Q&A. Diane, you live streamed most of it.
Chinzia was like live stream this whole we were too busy chatting to people, so we were literally like some of the last people to go in, which means that we got the last pick of seats. And then we couldn't sit
We
together.
weren't even at the same table, but
So that's okay.
Well, Diane and I were.
Yes,
was a
Sophia and I
smaller-
were at a table, and then Chinzia had to sit at a different table, which is totally our fault because we were too busy chatting.
You dicks.
So,
Lydia.
anyways, so then I was like at the literally back as far as you could go, so I could like if you watch the live, I tried to like get Chinzia and a little bit of Sophia like in the video as well, but it was literally I think the only part that I didn't get at the very beginning is like how he comes in and he's like, oh, this is so fancy, oh, we're gonna have a steak dinner, oh blah, blah, blah.
are you gonna come out and do a dessert dance or something? It was pretty funny.
Yes, please.
Yeah, which because Howie, like, he was saying a couple things about how, like, yeah, he's not used to doing things on his own, and he's the shyer one, and la la la, and he was like, I really appreciate you guys coming to this, because I know whatever, and everybody's like, no, we love you, Howie, and then he said this thing about Nick doing a dessert dance. People were like, we'll take what we can get, and he's like, I'm sure you would.
It was pretty funny.
He knows.
Yeah, so then some people asked some questions and stuff, and he played a couple of songs. Like, he didn't perform them; he was playing it off the thing and just kind of like awkwardly sitting there and like.
That was a little weird
because I feel like he was also embarrassed to be listening to it in front of us and stuff.
Yeah,
but it was
We're
just
adults, right? We were like, it's not
because it is a children's album, and it is a very good, catchy album.
I'm sorry, that's what the listening party was for?
Yes,
Oh!
for his new album.
Okay.
What-
Now that makes sense now. Okay.
Did you think it was just to listen to him talk, or
I thought like he was having a guitar. Like I was confused.
no? He was just playing some songs from the album.
literally like
On a CD player?
Off a
No,
phone.
on a phone.
Oh.
So I think Kat was playing them, or
really?
Justin was playing them.
Okay.
it was set up to some kind of speaker.
No, there was a speaker system. It wasn't like we were all like.
Okay, like
It wasn't like we were all like
okay.
when we did that Aaron Carter Big Slice thing where he literally had it on his phone and we had to
Oh my
listen.
God.
Like there was
Oh,
actual
okay.
speaker
Okay,
system
alright.
and you could hear things.
Oh, good. Okay.
So yeah, so he did
That
a
makes
couple of
it better
songs,
for you.
and then he was like, so then not everyone was that chatty.
Oh my God, it was actually kind of awkward.
It was
I feel like
awkward
it
because
was
nobody was asking
Jimmy.
questions. So it was me, Sophia, and this girl from Colombia.
Did we get her
She's
name?
not
She's not from Colombia. She's Colombian Italian, and she was sitting there. She had asked some questions about like her not being able to speak Spanish when she was a kid. So Howie kind of talked about like no hablo español and that type of growing up. And if Howie had been better speaking in Spanish, he probably would have been in Menudo because he had auditioned for Ricky Martin and all that stuff. And
Yes.
like Ricky Martin came down and he was so excited because whatever song Howie was singing, Ricky loved that song. They're like, oh, Ricky, it's your favorite song. Come down. So then Howie like met Ricky Martin years later, he said, and he's like, hey, I auditioned for Menudo and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. So like Ricky did not remember him, obviously.
You know, okay, and
thought it was
like
funny.
maybe if you've met Howie alone without the Backstreet Boys, because I feel like I haven't met Howie alone without the Backstreet Boys. Like, I mean, I have.
really?
No, I have, but all of those times I feel like he was drunk.
Oh, okay, like on the
I,
cruise.
on the
and
cruise
stuff.
and
I
stuff.
felt like Howie was weirdly like shy and kind of like whatever, and I was like, this is so odd. And then I'm like, I think all the other times he had been drinking and was like super personable and chatty. In fact, like wouldn't shut up, and we're like, okay, Howie, we gotta go. Like, you know.
I've met Howie quite a few times.
I've also met him quite a few
like
times.
I did the 2 Duro Lupus things in Toronto, and then I
The
had lunch
Tris
with him
nightclub.
and CJ, and went to the thing. So, well, the nightclub he would have been drunk.
Oh,
but
I guess.
the other ones were. So, I get what you're saying, and I guess he can get a little shy and overwhelmed. But then I have, as you have all kindly said many times, verbal diarrhea. So then I just start talking to
kind.
him, and then I'm
So
just like,
kind.
and then he responds, or I get him to start talking about a story, and he'll go into that and stuff. So like I've had like a lot of good moments with Howie over the years. And yeah,
Maybe
so-
he was also tired and it didn't
Yeah.
come off.
I don't know. I was like, he seemed very nervous, and maybe it was about the album. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, because he doesn't do a lot of solo
Yeah.
stuff, or a lot of the solo stuff he does is like he'll write songs and stuff behind the scenes where he's not in front of people. And
I
he
just
did-
wasn't used to seeing him like that.
Yeah. So, and a couple of the songs actually talk about how like you're nervous and stuff, and how he was saying to James, like, you know, even though this song is for kids and whatever about being nervous, he's like, when I go on stage, I'm still a little bit nervous and I get the butterflies every time I go on. And he's
Every
like,
time, yeah, even after
well,
the
he's like, because if you don't get the butterflies, then you become complacent and then
too
you start
comfortable.
messing things up.
Yes,
He did say that when he loses that like whatever, that's when he messes up.
So he's like, so if you're a little bit nervous, he's like, it's actually good for you to have a little bit of nerves when you go on stage. So like, you know, like, so you're like on the ball, right? So he was talking about that. And then, so then there's a song on the album that when we first heard it, we were a little bit like, I don't know if this really fits. Like the songs are all like, they have a couple of different styles of music as well, but there's one that's like drastically different, and it's called Worry. And it has a little bit of like kind of like a reggae calypso-y type feel to it. So he's like, what songs do you guys want to hear next? Like normally I just play whatever and whatever. So then
So then I'm like, yes, I have a song that I would like to ask about. And he's like, yes. And I was like, could you please talk about Worry?
And
because it's a little
kind
bit
of sounds
different.
like a bit reggae. And he's like, thank you for saying it sounds reggae. And we're like, it certainly does. And we're like, is there a particular reason why you
does.
Is there a reason why you wanted to go
Worry.
this way? And he's like, well, my mom is a big fan of reggae music, so she wanted
because she likes the Caribbean, and that's how you
kind of like the islandy
Yeah.
vibe. So he's like, so I made this song for my mom type thing. So we're like, okay.
That was nice.
that was cute.
So that, and then, and he had also mentioned that, when we were talking about the play a bit, so he has a play based, some of these songs are in that play. It's called Which One Am I? Is that what the play's called?
Yeah, I believe so.
And it is in Omaha, Nebraska
And then you said,
in January, February. So he's like, oh, blah, blah. And I'm like, follow-up question to that. Why are you in Nebraska in February?
Somebody asked why he picked Nebraska, and he was like, I didn't.
I didn't.
The
The people
theater
that I
picked
wrote
him.
with or whatever, blah, blah, blah. The theater picked me. And we're like, that's awesome. But like, hey, buddy, it's friggin' winter. We don't want to die when we come see you. And he's like, it's because it was actually supposed to be in November, but then the opportunity came up for
No,
them.
I think he said October.
he said October. But
said
he's
October,
going to-
November. And then he said the Japan and the Hawaii thing came up. So because the band obviously takes precedence over any solo projects.
Which
that's
is
why.
very nice of him to do.
And
Yes.
they all kind of do that, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so that's why it's been moved to January, February. So he said that's kind of, I guess it could have been a little bit earlier, but he also wanted to take vacation, he said, after Hawaii. So,
And he,
So,
did,
like,
and he
'cause
did
Christmas
say
and
he would
stuff,
like
right?
to try to get it to like in Toronto and
Toronto
other
or
places.
New York or
Yeah.
something else, but he's going to start.
Yeah,
again.
and he was saying it's probably a good like thing to do it there because he's like we're still kind of working out kinks. So he's like I feel like it'll be good to do it there, and then if we need to change it again before we bring it like to a New York or to a Toronto or whatever, then we have the time to do
And
that.
this particular theater is one of the largest children's theaters in the country, so that's why they had to reach out to him.
Aw.
Very nice.
Which is very nice.
So then he was also saying that he could do, like he did plays and he did this thing. And he's like, maybe I might want to get into podcasting
That was great.
or maybe a children's books or whatever. So he had
before
mentioned this
wait,
casually.
Sorry. Before this, Chinzia stealthily puts the business card on the table
I did, yes.
so everyone
During
can
one of the
see.
so just like
And
casually put this hot pink business card on a white tablecloth. And then, so they're like, is there any more questions? And everyone's just staring at him blankly. And I was like, they're like, okay, we need to wrap this up. I'm like, I have a further question. And they're like, yes. I'm like, Howie, now, when you said you wanted to do podcasts, like, do you listen to a lot of podcasts? And he's like, actually, not really. I was like, well, my friend, have I got something for you? And he's like, okay. It's like, here, you should listen to Boy Band Break. And he's like,
oh, this is you.
is this you? Yes, it is us. And he's like, oh, maybe I will. And at this point,
points it
he's
out
still
to us.
talking. And Sophia's like, if anyone else would like business cards, I
Sophia
have
the
business
hustler.
cards.
Yes.
And I was like, Sophia, Howie's talking right now. And then she's like,
how else am I going to say it?
it was pretty funny.
To be fair, though, to Sophia, some people had kind of leaned over and were like, what did she just give him?
Yes.
And then we were like, oh, it's our business card as a podcast. And then she was like, can I have one? And then Sophia gave her, and then it kind of started like a whole thing
Yeah, it snowballed
where
from
everybody
there.
was like, if Howie has one, then I must have one too.
It was pretty funny. And I go, Howie, if you would ever like to be interviewed on our podcast, we are well available and equipped to do so. And then, I also think I asked about CJ at one point. Was that during that or was that during the personal part?
I want to say personal part.
I feel like I also mentioned CJ at some point.
I don't know.
Okay, so then we got in line to go get our pictures and sign CDs.
Yes.
So because it was just Howie, we decided to do individual pictures.
Then one person wouldn't be beside him, you know.
It wouldn't be good.
And then, so we did that. So I think Diane was first.
I was. It was not very exciting. He said, nice to meet you. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, and then we were laughing because the one time Nick said, nice to meet you, Diane got
had a
like
cow.
lost her mind.
Because I've met Nick like so many more times than I've met Howie. I don't
and I
blame
understand.
Howie for saying nice to meet you, even though I had just literally met him 2 days ago
Saw him on Sunday.
or 3 days ago or whatever.
Oh, he's just being
And I was like,
polite.
I was the person violently like moving you around, but whatever. Howie, nice to meet you too, buddy.
I was just
And
joking
then
around.
Maybe he just didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then he whatever,
took a
and then we
picture.
took a picture, and he was like, "Thank you so much for coming." La la la. I don't know. I didn't have anything earth shattering to say to him.
Yes. So when
And then
I
Chinzia
went up
went?
to him, I can't remember what exactly I said, but I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then I mentioned CJ, I think.
Yes.
And then we were talking, and he's like, oh, he's here. I was like, yeah, I thought he would be here, but that's fine, whatever. And he's like, oh, he'll be here later. And I was like, well, I will not be here later. I'll be at the concert because we can't afford this VIP. And I was like, it was perfect. So we were talking, and then I was like, oh, I had lunch with you and CJ years ago, and blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, okay. So he's like, when he first came in, he's like, I apologize. I am very bad with names. I recognize faces. Please don't be offended that I need to write your names down. So we're like, totally cool, buddy. Like, totally understandable. You meet so many people. So we did that, and then we went to go take the picture. So we had...
he also said to you, it's so great that you guys do that podcast.
Yes, and I was like...
I heard that part.
We're like available anytime. Listen to it. I'm like, it's about all boy bands. We generally talk about the Backstreet Boys quite often. He's like, okay. So then went to go take the picture, and I gave him a sign to hold, and he looks at the sign, and his sign said, "Which one am I?" which is the name of his album. And then my sign said Howie with an arrow pointing towards him. So that was our picture. He thought it was funny, and then we left. And then Sophia went.
So
to
then
talk
I
to
went
him.
up, and then I was like, my name is Sophia. It means wisdom. I just like to
Sophia
do
with
that-
an F. It means
I
wisdom.
just like
and I was
to
dumb.
have it as an icebreaker. It's quite funny.
All right.
And then I was like, oh, I really enjoyed Which One Am I? That song, like, you do a good job describing the boys. And he's like, oh, I'm so glad that you liked it. And he's like, oh, did I do a good job? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Thumbs up. And he's like, thank you. And then I was like, oh, we just saw you on Sunday. We did we spelled out DNA and the running picture. And he was like, oh my God, that was you guys. That's so funny. And he really enjoyed those pictures. And then we took a picture, and I was like,
legit. Sophia was there for quite some time,
yes,
and they were like trying to.
Really had
she was like
a
the
long
back of the
conversation.
line.
Yes. And then I was like, oh, can we do a huggy picture? Because I didn't want to just do like a normal one. So, and he's like, absolutely. So then I did it. And then I thought I closed my eyes, but we'll find out whenever it's posted.
Yes. All right. So I think that's kind of the VIP. And then we ran into CJ outside of the venue. So I got my pictures with him. We talked about it last episode.
We
and
have to talk about it again because that's number one fan. Shinji's number one fan.
Yes. So anyways, that's pretty much it. So
that is our VIP experience.
Do you have any questions, Lydia? Are you good?
No, that was pretty in-depth. Thank you.
It's been an hour again.
I did not think we would get this long.
Yeah, like the skipped dishes order is cold now. But it's okay. I was eating the sandwich secretly while you guys were talking.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know what? You guys should go get a sandwich too. Thanks for taking a break with us, guys.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.